Hello, people. Alright, so I know it's been a while since I've made a video, but you know what? My shorts get a hell of a lot more attention than my actual videos do, I've noticed. And the wisp industry has imploded, so I've also had to start doing side hustles to try to shore up my income because I live in Ontario, Canada, one of the most expensive countries and provinces in the world. Cost of living has gone way up, and wages are kind of still down here. I mean, it sucks, right? So anyway, don't forget, I'm a network engineer and a consultant, so if you want to hire me, reach out. I am for hire. But anyway, I digress. A long time ago, I used to be a musician, and I had a band, and we toured, and, well, there was a few iterations of the band, and one of them actually toured. The other one, we were just trying to get going again. And I'm actually published as well, but if you want to find out who I am, or listen to some of the music that we published, you can find us. We're on every streaming platform out there. I mean, it's been like 14 years since I made music, so I'm starting to get back into it. Now, I'm old school. Back in the day, I would have my pedal board. And with my pedal board, I would be able to choose the effects that I wanted to play. Nowadays, we've got these interesting things, which seem to accomplish the same thing in a small box. The problem is that I don't want to go through banks and then turn stuff on and off. That's just stupid to me. I want to still be able to use it as a pedal board, so I can have like my chorus, I can have my distortion, I can have my flanger or reverb or tape echo or things like that. You know, anything I want, be able to set my tempo. You know, be able to do all that stuff. I want to be able to do that. And this only has 3 dinky little buttons on it. I bought this off a friend of mine, and it is a cool idea. I guess a lot of the bigger bands are starting to use these now, or even rack mount versions of them, but I'm a peasant and I don't make billions of dollars. Now, I managed to get this interesting thing, and some of you guys might recognize it. It's a MIDI foot controller, and you can actually add 2 additional pedals to it, expression pedals and whatnot, and I'm going to make this battery operated. Why? Makes things easier. This guy here, I'm going to make an external battery pack for it as well. But anyway, I digress. The idea here is with this one, you go through banks. So it's like, I'm going to set my chorus and my distortion and blah, blah, blah along here. Let's turn that on, turn that off. Okay, switch bank, switch bank. That's annoying. I mean, to train yourself to do that during a song just seems a little bit cumbersome. Whereas with this, again, I can assign like a different effect to each pedal, each button. And if I want to switch songs, like say for my general use, I would have my, I've got a few different choruses that I use, and then I've also got certain reverbs that I use for dreamy, airy stuff. I've got a couple of different distortions I use. I've got one that's a really tight, tinny kind of distortion. Then I've got my growly kind of bass and rich distortion. So I want to have all my different effects in here. So tonight's goal is to put this guy aside. I hate office chairs. Now, this actually came from a band known as Sass Jordan. Apparently the guitarist owned this one previous to me. And there's a little joke in Canada here. Well, a couple of jokes about musicians here. First of all, what's the difference between a Juno Award-winning musician and a serial killer? Don't know? You could be sitting next to the one on the bus and not even know it. Ha! Right? Huh? Here's another one. What's the difference between a Canadian musician and a Canadian serial killer? One plays at the Junos. The other is just trying to get to the final stop. But both are surprisingly well known in their own dark ways. Ha ha! Lame. So anyway, what I'm going to do with this guy, I've already actually jumped ahead because you guys, most of you guys have the attention span of goldfish. So what I've done here is I've actually welded 4 2 amp hour 18650s together into a pack, wrapped them in Kapton tape, of course, and then added some black tape as a good measure to kind of shore things up. Now, what I've done on here is I've added a BMS, just a regular cheapie. Let me get rid of this now. It's just a regular cheapie. Can you focus on this? USB-C 0.5 amp charging circuit with the, you see their support there? But they've got 5 volt pins on them as well, and if you knock off one of the resistors on here, or I think it's actually a capacitor anyway, but whatever. You can actually get an amp out of it. Not that it matters. This is enough to run this for about 22 hours, according to my maths. Now, on the end of this, we've got 2 leads. One is going to a bulkhead mount USB-C, and the other one is going to a boost converter that will give me exactly 9 volts. Now, I did the math, but I wanted to be conservative, because technically, if I bypass the full bridge rectifier in this thing, it'll actually want 12 volts DC instead of 9 volts AC, or roughly in that approximate area. But I did some full testing on it at 9 volts, and it's perfectly happy at 9 volts. So we're just going to use 9 volts. And that's what this boost converter does. It takes 3 volts, and it outputs 9 volts at 1 amp, which is more than enough for this little pedal board. Okay, so first things first is I've got to get this thing out of its package. And once I do that, and the reason why I've got to take it out of its shell is because I'm going to be doing some drilling on the back of here, because I need to add a button and the USB-C. There's a cute little button, eh? So I already made this pack up, as I said earlier. It's fully charged actually right now. It's sitting at about 4 volts. I'm also going to make a note of where we're going to try to go somewhere in here. There we go. And I'm also going to use the bottom of this thing for my battery pack to mount to. So in the end, I'm actually going to take a piece of aluminum, cut it off, stick it on here, and then wrap it in Kapton so that there's 2 ears on it, which I can mount into the base plate of this housing. All right, so let's get this guy off. Let's get it off. Man, this is something I haven't done in a while. All right, so it's been about 6 years now. Jesus Christ. Cobwebs and moths. There we go. Now, feels like there's something... oh, there's one screw left. Almost missed that one. Now, there's not really a lot to these things. I mean, if you watch Look Mom No Computer, one of my favorite YouTubers as well, he does a lot of stuff with Arduinos in that, which is really cool. But as you can see, this is old school. And there's not a lot to these things, really. I mean, there's our full bridge rectifier over here. And then we've got... oh, hold on a second here. I just noticed something. This is one of the fabled 7-pin MIDIs, which means that I can power this thing through a MIDI cable. Ho ho! But that's not going to happen because my head rush only uses 3 pins. It uses ground, TX, and RX, and I think I've got a cable here. I'll show you what it is. So this then plugs into the head rush, because this is enough to carry the serial bus, I guess, that is MIDI. And then there's the connector that will go into this board. Okay? So now, I've got these guys off. And then you know what, I could change the colors of the LEDs on these things too. That'd be kind of neat, eh? My brain is thinking, I mean, I could also completely strip this thing of all the hardware that's on it, and I could actually install an Arduino in here and do some cooler things like RGB LEDs for like loops and whatnot, but no, bad. We are not modifying a classic piece of hardware in that way. We are just going to give it power. Okay, so give me a second to grab a piece of paper. Close my door too. This is in case my housemates are doing something. There we go. And we're gonna just put this in here. I'm gonna tape this in so that, let's see here. Put this aside. We're gonna put this over here. There we go. I just want to make sure that I don't get a bunch of debris in this unit, because I am drilling holes. Okay, so first and foremost, we need a power switch. So I was going to measure this out. I want it close to the top, but where is my caliper? Oh my goodness, I am such a train wreck. I hope this doesn't turn into a long video, because I know you guys don't have the attention span for that, and that's not me trying to be an asshole. It's like, ugh, I want to make content you guys can watch, but everybody gets so whiny about things. I don't know what people want. Okay, so I'm just going to mark this. I'm going to put my switch somewhere over here. The capacitor was right there, so I'm going to go like right there. That's roughly the bottom line that I've got to work with. That's where the circuit board is, okay? Now, what I might do is I'm also going to put the USB-C back here, so I'm just going to make another little score. So now I've got this, and I've already marked out my my little thingamabobber here for installing my switch. Now I like these circular switches because you can actually install them with a cone bit. So you take your cone bit here, you drill a hole, you put it in, and you measure it to this size, right? So there's a little key, if you can see that. Let me bring it up here. If you look closely, you're going to see like a little key. And so what you do with that key, because it juts up, it sticks up, is you just take a file, like an angled file, and you just go zip, and that will fit into that groove, and it locks it in place. Now, in this case here, it's on the side. So, let me see here. I don't think I've got anything to hold this up, do I? Because this is just going to keep flopping, and that's going to be just bloody annoying. This should work. Here we go. Actually, you know what? That kind of works like that. And maybe if I jam something in there, I can like tighten it up a little bit. Ooh, electrical tape. What aren't you good for? There we go. I'm just going to tuck some electrical tape in there. That'll keep it from flopping back. Oh, gold. Nah, almost. Come on, we can do this. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so now let's figure this out. So we're going to grab this, and we're going to grab our caliper here. Okay, so this is approximately 14 mil. 14 mil, let's see here. If you're a maker and you don't have a decent caliper, get one. And those of you that are going to mock me for having a analog one, I like the analog one. FYI, I have got like half a dozen of these digital ones, and I just don't like them. I really don't. Some things you just want, you know, the old versions of them. And am I just starting to sound like a grumpy old fart? Is that what's happening here? I don't know. Let's see here. There we go. So we're going to be right here. And then we're going to be right here. And right here. Just going to mark this again. This is an afterthought. My ADHD's brain's like afterbirth. That's horrific. All right, there we go. I should have done that in the first place, because that helps with the scarring when you're drilling. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we've got our markings here, and I want to go about halfway from top to bottom. Bottom. There we go. So I'm going to arbitrarily create a mark here, because that will take us on the inside of the lip. There we go. So this is approximately what we have to work with here. Let's now let's find our middle. So what's our middle here? We're looking at 25 on the nose. So that'd be 1.25. So 1.25 would be cuckoo. All right, there we go. So I'm just going to do this. There we go. So this will be approximately where we're going to drill our holes. There we go. That should give us our mark. Yeah, it takes a lot of prep work to do this nicely, doesn't it? There we go. All right, now I have a template for the USB-C, so hold on one second. I need to grab one. Now, if some of you guys are wondering where I get a lot of these components from, I mean, if you're nerds like me, you probably already know. If you're not a nerd like me, these little boards, these little USB-C charge boards, you can find them on Amazon, but anything you can buy on Amazon like this is drop shipped from Ali. So just check AliExpress first to see if you can find what you're looking for, because you can usually save a fortune. All right, so there's our approximation. I'm going to try to line up these little holes here. All right, there we go. Let's see if I can fill this in. Good enough. Okay, so now I need to find a drill bit to fit that. And I think this one was the perfect one for me. Yep, that's about ideal. Now, the cool thing about these guys, what I tend to do is when I install them, I'll actually screw them in on the inside, but then they're soldered on here, so you can just heat these guys up with a heat gun or a soldering iron and just move them slightly forward so that the USB port actually becomes flush. Or you can leave it on the inside because that protects it, and protection is good. I like protection. My parents should have worn protection. They don't want to be suffering the way that I am this day and age. Here we go. Do you know how many people like to tell me on the internet that I'm a man? It's kind of rude, isn't it? Huh. I don't know. If I take my pants off, you'd probably argue that point. Let's see here. Oh no. I'm getting political. No, I'm not. Just burned out and frustrated with life. Let's see here. All right, I think we've got all of our drill bits that we need for this guy, so we'll do this guy first. All right. Measure twice, cut once. I have a feeling that that bit is done. It very much feels done. Although, maybe if I wasn't a turd and I actually put some bloody cutting oil on here. Yeah, who would have thought that that would actually improve anything? What are we at to? 18 minutes so far. Oh yeah, that's just me being a total tool. Alright, well, it's a good thing that I bought a box of these. I'm gonna go over here to my 3D printed, and my 3D printed drill bit holder. That bit was done anyway. That's why I buy them in bulk. It's like these little cheap titanium coated bits last about like 5 jobs and they're done. There's our holes. Now I need to get the appropriate size to prime this. I did put one aside, but I just want to see if I have a free bit. I don't. Yeah, I just want to make sure I do this well. You only get one chance when you're doing stuff like this. There, that should get us started. These are better bits. These are machining bits. Of course, I've got a wood bit countersink attached to it because I'm a dumbass. Oh man. Yeah, I kind of figured this would happen. It's not the end of the world. It's just my template coming loose. That's all. So there's one. There we go. There's two. Let's see if I can pull it off. Forgot I had a syringe sitting here with some cutting oil. There we go. All right. Now that that is done, I can simply take a file. Let's see here. This is a nice little round file. Oh man, I'm gonna be amazing at handies after this one. Oh, did I get it? I got it. Oh my goodness. I'm sure that there's people out there that are cringing right now. So if you are cringing at what I'm doing, please, by all means, give me the information I need to know to do this better. Because this is just how I've done it in my 44 years on Earth. Well, this is supposed to be my last year, too. Let's see how that turns out. Let's see if the fortune teller was right. All right, so there's that one. And now, let us do the other one, which means I also have to pre-drill this because I'm going to be using conical bit. And when you're using conical bits, you want to drill to the right size. You want to prime it. You need to get it started, you know? You gotta get it started. And let's just double check. I am far away from that capacitor. Awesome. Okay, there we go. And we'll go up a size. We've got a long way to go, folks. Anybody catch that latest Styro Pyro video? It's pretty epic, no? It was like, I think it was like an hour or maybe 2 hours of just him screwing around with car batteries. It was epic. Oh my god, it was wonderful. Admittedly, I really enjoyed it. There was plasma. This is about as sharp as a spoon. What happened to this bit? No, I'm not going through with this one. In fact, this one's going in the garbage. We can start with this one, I guess. This one will get me to the approximate spot coarsely, and then I can dial it in with this guy. This is when it starts getting hot and you start burning your shit because you're using a conical bit and steel. Woof. All right, where's my switch? Let's double check. Go down to the tape line. Oh good, I can like exhaust this one. What the hell? Do better. Ah, what the hell? There we go, beautiful. One more step. Although I like to double check. Oh, it's almost there. Now I've also got to make this thing easier to service, so I'm going to use some longer wires in it. Oh man, that hurt. Okay. Beautiful. That's exactly where we want it. So I'm just going to take a file here. Okay, now we can take this off. Yeah, it's not the prettiest, but hey, it's mine. There we go. Take off a little bit of the, so we can get that file in here. I can't, so I'll take my little circular file. Yeah, because I don't think I can get my reamer in here. Beautiful. All right, so there's that. And that's actually looking pretty good. I might make it just a little bit bigger for the USB port, now that I can actually see it. I can give it a little dusting of paint afterwards if I really need to. Alright, so there we go. So I was thinking about starting a music podcast, actually. Because I listen to a lot of music. And I found out that a lot of the obscure music that I listen to, many of you guys have probably never heard of. Especially if you guys are into the avant-garde or trip-hop or things like that. One of my favorite bands actually is Rasputina. There we go. Alright, so we got our prep work done. Or Mimi Page. Or who's another great artist? Hochico from Mexico. They're pretty awesome. There we go. Give me a second. I'm going to grab the vroom sucker. Hold on. I love this. Why would I spend $300 on a Milwaukee vacuum when I can get one for $65 that's Milwaukee compatible and does exactly what I need it to? Alright, looks like we're ready for step 2. Alright, we can get this guy back on the bench now. Yay! Okay, so now, got our battery pack here. Clearly that's not how we're installing it. Now, remember I told you about that little piece on there? I think I'm going to mount this side saddle, like so you could like reach back and because like if you do it up and down, you can bump it. So I'm going to do a side saddle. So what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to create a groove for this in the very top. And what I'm going to do that with is I've got this triangular file right here. And this allows me to start it. Okay, and then I can take a, you know what, I can probably just use this guy here, my little round file, just get a, there, let's see if that fits now. Like a glove, there we go. Alright, so now let's get this guy sorted out. Alright, I'm gonna run this across the back here just to, garbage off. Alright, and I guess I could just mount that like so, which means I'll need a couple of M1s or M2s, I think. And this guy here, oh, I know what I'm going to do. Here, check this out. We're going to take a loop of red wire, I think I'm done cutting, so I can take this guy. Nah, I'm gonna leave it in, just for now. Here, let's get this cone bit out of here too. Cone bits. Cone bits. There we go. Take this. Boop. And we'll take this. Boop. There we go. I'll need a couple little pieces of heat shrink. Where is the... There it is. How big of a piece of heat shrink do I need? You want this guy. Here we go. Yeah, we have a place called Princess Auto in our province, and it's, well, actually across Canada. It's kind of like your Harbor Freight, except not as cool. And they actually had, for like $17, they had assorted heat shrinks on sale in like this rack that you could like mount somewhere and pull your different sizes off of it. Oh, what a great thing. I was so happy that they had it. There we go. 32 minutes. Nice. It's going to be a nice long video. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to just release this video unedited. And if you guys want me to re-upload it chopped, let me know. Otherwise, there's no reason why you couldn't just, you know, zip through it. Because some of you guys might want to see some of the details on this, right? Where is my... I cannot find my third hand. Where the hell is my third hand? You know, I usually keep it in my bucket next to my desk. I can't find it. Shoot. Oh, wait, might be up here. Nope. Okay, no third hand for me. I did finally buy one. I'll just do it the hard way. I'll take this little guy like so, and I will dress it a little bit with a little bit of solder. There we go. It's already tinned, so I'll just put it on here like so. Nice. Flip it over. Do it again. There's a mom joke in there, I'm sure. Got lots of solder on my soldering iron tips, so I don't need any more. I love how flux just makes everything flow so nicely. Oh god, come on, get on there. That's a horrible soldering job. Solder. I gotta be careful because if I stick too long on, if I linger on that terminal, this button will melt. Alright, there we go. So we've got our two terminals. There we go. I'll just use my rework here. This is now prepped. Alright, so now we can get the USB-C port in here. Now, do I need to use a brand new one, or do I use the existing one? And will this actually fit all the way through? Will it? Will it? Will it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Uh-huh. No. But let's just double check and make sure that this will go through. So this. Yep, that goes through. So I just need to mount that like so. Cool. Alright, so now we need nuts and bolts. Where do I keep them? Okay, so this might actually be an M2. Let me see here. I need a not so long M2. And I need a couple of nuts. Lost track of mine. There we go, and a couple of washers. There we go, and there. This is the right size. Exactly. I just need to find the right size drill bit. I need to make my hole slightly bigger. Ah, there's a joke there. Moths and cobwebs. Yeah. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can get these in the hole now. Oh, just slightly too small. You know what? We can just do this. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Oh, so close. And I dropped the other one. Oh, it's going until tomorrow. I'll just grab another one in a minute. This is my own dumbassedness. There we go. Just going to make this hole just slightly better. Slightly bigger. I'm just going to ream it with a file. Still too tight. All right. Grr. Where are my bigger drill bits? That one looks a little bit smaller. Is that one bigger? That's approximately the same size. Darn it. You know, the funny thing is that most drill bits you find are typically metric. Or, sorry, imperial. I mean, unless you go to a machine shop and, like, they start to get expensive once you start actually buying actual machining tools. And if you're a maker, you don't use this stuff constantly, so there's really not a huge need necessarily unless you're commercial. Let's see. This one looks like it's slightly bigger. This is going to be one of those good enough for those the girls I go with kind of situations, because I'm starting to feel that way. You know what? I think I can make this work now. Let's grab a itty bitty teeny tiny hex. Of course I'm going to drop that. That's just how life goes. Big question is if I can find it. That's too big. There we go, that's the exact size that I need. Okay, so now I'm going to mount the USB-C port on the inside. Oh, you're going to be bitchy about it, aren't you? You are. Alright, so I need 2 new screws and a drill bit. Ah! Trying to not have to pause. Unpause. There we go. I found the right size bit. And they fit. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to drop that on there. Go over here. And now we can... we're prepped basically, so now I can install the button. I can take this off. I'm going to give it a quick dusting. There we go. I don't think Milwaukee makes one of those, by the way. I ended up buying that one on AliExpress for about 50 bucks, and it works with my M18s. It's actually pretty powerful. Sometimes I use it for leaf blowing. Alright, now, if I wanted to do this really extra proper, which I probably should, I would also paint the inner edge of this steel to ensure that it doesn't corrode. But I'm thinking that I'm probably going to end up repainting this entire thing this year anyway. I want to, like, take it from black, order new decals for it, and then maybe paint this thing, like, green or something. I don't know. Be kind of neat. Neat! Okay. Let's get my pedal board back in. Right, here we go. Beauty. Alright. Put this over here. And here's all of our screws. You know, something which I didn't double check is if this battery pack is actually even going to fit in here. Because I just realized that this is tapered. So hold on a second. And if this is going to go in here, it's going to have to go in like this. So let's see if I can fit the bottom back on it. Oh no, I might have done a stupid. And in that case, I'll have to change the orientation of the batteries. Oh, fuck yeah, that's way too big. What can I do about my batteries? What I might have to do is run the 18650s long ways across here. But I can still get everything else mounted, and then I'll just pause the video and I'll rebuild the battery pack. Again, that was my own stupid fault. I should have just, I should have made sure that the batteries would fit first of all, but I think I can get all 4 batteries in here regardless, via the, just putting them along the back here. Let's see now. This is where we get into Tiny Town. Oh, it's always a pain in the ass. Oh, you bugger. You bugger. I'm gonna scream. Get on there. There we go. Now we can try to get a nut on here. Woohoo, it's threaded. Woo! Okay, there's one. I really should be using Torx instead of Allen's. Oh, this guy would be a lot easier. So if any of you guys are wondering, this draws about 3 watts peak when it's running. It's like, realistically, it's like just it's a pedal board or a MIDI controller. You're just sending signals with it, and the only thing that's really consumes power is the LED display on it, so it doesn't use that much power. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Let's see if my USB cable plugs in. Oh, and it works, it's charging. The sad part is that that battery pack has to be disassembled. I spent 40 minutes on that battery pack making it. Ugh, it sucks. You know what though? No, I'm gonna use this battery pack in my other pedal, because it's got a lot of real estate inside. Basically, this is the same thing. This is my vocal effects processor. It's a Lion 6 I got from one of my friends. And so, yeah, this is everything that I need for vocal effects, okay? We've got like our, well, actually, sorry, it doesn't have a chorus, I don't believe. But rhythm delay, stereos, it's got like all sorts of neat delays and modulation. Oh, and does it have reverb on it? No. Okay, but anyway, it's a really neat thing. Plus, I've got another guitar pedal that I actually use for vocals as well. It's a Boss MS or MX something or other. But, back in the day, I used to just use a chorus pedal. I would use a chorus pedal and a EQ pedal for my voice. And sometimes I would use my, you know, I should do a video talking about my microphones that I've used. Because I actually have a really neat microphone set. I have a CB microphone, was my favorite microphone. And I would sing through that. And it sounded really neat. And I actually just built a brand new microphone as well that's pretty lo-fi. It sounds neat. I think I need different tweezers. Oh, I don't think I've got the tweezers on my bench there for this. Come on. There we go. And with lock washer, we got that on there. Nice. Okay, so now I'm still going to need this as well, so I'm just going to steal this one, and this whole battery pack is going to go to the other pedal board. Alright, so we're just going to take our positive and negative off of here. Awesome sauce. And then we will put this over here like so. And I'm going to steal, because that's going to be another build. So, I mean, I've already got this board prepped. These little boost converters that I've got here are really neat. So what they allow you to do is you can actually choose the output from 5, 8, 9, or 12 volts. Okay, so what I wanted to do for this is quite simple. You see, I could bypass this full bridge rectifier here, but I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these guys here. Oh yeah, that's right. This goes between the battery. This goes, okay, yeah, because I'm going to turn on the boost converter to power this. So this is actually going to be a separate part. This goes between this and the battery. Okay, cool. All right, so since this is going to be mounted somewhere over here, I'm actually going to like stick it on the back here so I can use the back for thermal dissipation. Okay, so we're going to use the input on this. So I'm just going to, I only need about that much. Oh, and let's see here. Screw this back together. I've also got a test battery pack which we can use temporarily as well, so I can demo it for you. And then I'll make up the other battery pack and install it. This video is almost an hour. See, it takes a long time to make this stuff. People don't realize that. It's just like, oh, why do you charge so much? And it's like, God, because I've got to do a lot of stuff. And I burn myself. I set myself on fire. I fired in my chair an awful lot. Alright, there we go. So then we can take this guy. Now, these are an old set of fiber optic strippers. And I call them Cherry Blossom. And one of my workers tried to use these guys to strip steel with it and wrecked them. So they're no good for fiber anymore, but they're great on my workbench. Here we go. So this is going the positive in. crap, I need more flux on this. Flux it! 2 tears in a bucket. Flux makes everything look nice. There we go, there's that one. And then this goes off to the battery. And then I need a set of leads here for the power on here. Which realistically, the nice thing is because I'm just going to go on the exterior of the full bridge rectifier. I am going to get drop, but it's not really going to affect the logic on this because most of the logic in this board is going to be 5 volts, hence the 5 volt buck converter. So, I mean, as long as it's getting more than 6 volts into the voltage regulator, then it doesn't matter what kind of loss I see with the diodes. Because I know somebody out there is going to be a smart ass and be like, "Ooh, well, you know what? You can't. You're going to have loss because of the diodes that you're going through." Like, yeah, I get it. You're smart. You know a little bit about electronics. We all need a gold star every now and again. Of course, I've started taking fuck it all. It really helps a lot. There we go. So that is soldered on there. So I've got that lead there. And then this guy can come over here to these guys. So I'm just going to give it enough that I can like stick it right here. So I'll need about, yeah, that much might be good. Right about there. And I'll save those wires for my other build. And I had some stag chili earlier, and it is just not sitting right. It actually hurts. I hope they haven't changed the recipe or, given me food poisoning or something, but woof. I usually don't feel like crampy after eating stag. There we go. Nip off a little bit with my nippers. Beauty. Alright, and now we can solder this to the output. You know, I would use a brush for this, but the brushes always bloody well fall apart. And it's like, why? Why would I bother using a stupid brush if the brush is just going to fall apart on me? Flux is an acid, and it eats things. I'm just going to go center pin positive on this, just for shits and giggles. That's also how I tested it earlier, and it was happy with it. Here we go. So we've got our boost converter on there now. I can get I'm going to put a negative on here, because I'm going to be building a brand new battery pack. I screwed up. I might actually put a set of, what do you call them? I might actually try to put a set of XT30s on the battery pack. It might be actually a little bit nicer to make it a module pack, or modular. You know, we're in now. You know what? Whatever. I'm just going to rock through this. I'll make the battery pack and everything for you guys. There we go. So there's our positive and negative now. And just for shits and giggles, kind of a proof of concept here. Let's do this. I'm going to get a... I had a battery sitting here. It's a... oh, here's one. Here's a lithium pack. I'll take a lithium pack here. This is just a little guy. Let's just put these guys together. Oh, man. There we go. There's that one. And let's see here. That's a good thing I did my door. There we go. So now you can see that the boost converter is turned on. And if I flip this thing over carefully, because I don't want to short anything out. Yeah, cool, so it works. Now I can flip my little switch here. turn it off. Just as simple as that. Alright, so now I need to make a battery for this because I screwed up. But before I do, what I'd like to do is I'm going to mount this, I'm going to solder the wires on here. Or should I solder them after? I think I'll solder them after. We're just going to take these guys and remove them because I'm going to use them. So here's our negative. And we're going to desolder this from the lithium pack. And, oh, some of you guys might say, why don't I just use that battery? And it's like, well, I could, but the problem is that it doesn't have the capacity to run it for a while. I mean, what I could actually do, I might actually have a couple of flat packs, you know? Let's check and see. I do have a couple of flat packs, and I think I worked out that I need 8 amp hours, so let's see how much power we've got here. I think these guys are 3 amp hours each. That would give me 6, which isn't terrible. Let's see here. Like, I don't like flat packs because they have a tendency of exploding. I mean, these are lithium ion and not lithium iron or not lithium polymer. But these fucking packs are horrible. How'd your house burn down? Well, I had a lithium pack that was defective. Hey, hey. Yeah, but flat packs are perfect for this application. Notice that I had them taped up, right? Alright, let's see if these guys actually work first of all. Where's my multimeter? Now, I am going to have to wrap these things to make sure that they don't get popped. Well, 3.9 volts, that's pretty good. So this side's positive. Alright, we know what side's positive now. Here's my Sharpie. There it is. Looks like this is far. Uh-huh. You know, you got the polarity right when you press the terminals together and it doesn't turn into a fireworks display. Okay. Let's see, we're going to make a battery pack now. Okay, so first and foremost, where's my safety tape? I always wrap these guys in Kapton tape. And because this is a flat pack, I'm going to have to give it a little bit of extra padding because I don't trust flat packs. They're sketchy as hell. So I like cells. Oh, I hate Kapton tape so much. This is how they get you. This is a huge conspiracy, is that you waste so much of this tape because it like doesn't flow properly. It just tears in the middle. And then you're like out a bunch of money because you wasted like 6 meters of the shit just because like you're trying to get it off the bloody thing. It could also be because it's Chinese. Here we go. I don't want that to fold back down because I don't want to go through that again. That was horrible. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to wrap this 2 ways because I want to have extra padding on this. Now there's a trick with shipping tape where you just kind of fold the edge over. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to take a piece of this waste tape I'm just going to fold it on here, put it on here. And I'm just going to press that on there. There we go. So now we've got our battery. And that's about 6 amp hours, so it's only 2 amp hours short of what I originally intended. Now, I am going to... This is really rough, these terminals. I'm going to do this without shorting it out. These are just crap. And we're just going to fold that like so. There we go. So that's one terminal done, one side. See? I'm going to fold it. This one's not as bad, but... There we go. So we've got our positive and negative. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a BMS chip. Now, the reason why I'm using BMS chips is because these little guys here, well, also, they have a low voltage cutoff, they have overcharge, they have a lot of extra functionality, and that's really important for these guys. All right, so we're going to take a little bit of this stuff here. I'm going to have to take some Gaviscon after that chili. Jesus. It's been a while since I had stag chili. I can't believe that it's actually making me feel like this. Let's see. Oh, here it comes. All right, there we go. So we've got our leads on here. So I'm going to do the battery first. So I'm going to do battery negative. So now, when you're working with lithium batteries, you pretty much always want to use a BMS. It just makes sense. Like this does low voltage disconnect, it charges it, it ensures that it's short circuit protected. If the battery gets too low, it cuts it off so it doesn't cause permanent damage to the cells or even a fire. Alright, where's that red gotten to? Is that it down there? No. I misplaced my red. Red wire, red wire, red wire. Where is the red wire? I had a red wire. Oh, there it is. It's right there. I guess, I need a little piece of it. Here we go. Loud noises. There we go, there's our other battery lead. Nice, look at that. Look at those nice little beads, they're just perfect. Okay, so now we've got those. Alright, so we're gonna need, how short are we gonna make this? I'm gonna actually run this off the back here, so we need to be about this long. Nice. Okay, so there's that, and then we're going to do the now we're going to do the input leads, which are going to be for the charger. Okay. So now what I've done here, as you can see, it's got a USB-C port on it, but there's also a positive and negative on the sides here, which you can use to connect to one of those little USB-C things. Here we go. So color is going to be positive. Some of you guys might be like, oh, you're using the right color because it's green and you're colorblind. Most dudes are colorblind, apparently. I find that hilarious. There we go. So there's our input there. And we've got our output right there, and oh, I need my output, that's right. You know what I'm going to do, actually, because I can, because I'm the one wiring it, is I'm going to use blue and white for my output. Because I can. Ha ha ha. I mean, it's just wires. I mean, the designation, as long as you keep a consistent designation, then you're not a complete sociopath. That's why I try to make solid colors are always positive. Mind you, there are also color codes, whether it's North American or international or DC or AC. So like as an example, in AC systems in North America, you've got black and white are hot and cold. Your white's your neutral, your black is your hot. And then you've got red is line 2, or it can also be three-way switch for multi-switching designation, which is kind of confusing for some people. It's kind of a stupid concept if you really think about it. And then you've got black is negative. It's almost always negative in DC systems. Red, if you're multi-voltage, red is usually 5 volts. Yellow is usually 12 volts. And I think blue and or purple are 3 volts. And then there's also a 1 volt lead, which I think is white. But don't quote me on that. You can go and look it up for yourself or go to your AI companion to do that. All right, let's see here. All right, there we go. So now I'm going to solder this. I've been practicing that so hard. It's such a stupid fucking word. Bleh. Solder. Solder. All right. Will this actually adhere to this? Is this actually tin or is it aluminum? Aluminium. Can I get it hot enough that it'll stick? Oh no. I don't think I can. I don't think that this will actually stick. I might actually have to. I'll show you how we're going to do this. We might actually have to fold this in. So you tin this. I mean, they can't use nickel, right? There's a couple of ways I can do this. This is going to be the simplest. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold it again. Oop. Ah! I startled myself. That was not a shock, by the way. This is 3 volts. This will not give you a shock. Grr. Pain in the ass. Of course it's going to be a pain in the ass. I'm just trying to do something here. Well, we're using used batteries, aren't we? There, that should work. We're not done with this either, by the way, so don't judge me just yet. I'm going to go along here, and I'm going to crimp this. Now, you have to be really careful not to stress the edge of the pack where the leads come out, otherwise you'll start to smell a lithium smell, and you'll know that the pack's leaking. That's about the most I can do with that. If I push this anymore, it's going to wreck it. Alright, so now, and I don't want to waste a battery pack because I don't want to sit here and spend an hour welding a set of batteries for you guys. Because otherwise my solution would be to weld a set of 18650s, right? Okay, so we're just going to fold this in. God, I hate it when they use shitty metals on these things. Use nickel. Why? Why do you have to use aluminium? Or something stupid like that? There. That is now attached. We can test this by simply plugging in a USB-C cable. Charging. Nice. Alright, what's the next step? I'll show you. Whoop. I did it again! And it made me jump! That's how trained I am. Bloody hell. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little bit of crazy glue here. And once I do this, I can tape this pack, and it needs to be taped before I short it out and set it on fire. So I'm going to see how, if you take a look closely, see how I'm not bending any of the fold, like the seal, like the seal mill seal there for the, whatchamajigger? The terminals. So they're nicely intact, and they're politely folded there, so I can put Kapton tape over that. Need to find my crazy glue. What did I do with the crazy glue now? Can I use some fuck it all? I might be able to use some fuck it all. Maybe we'll take the fuck it all approach. So what I would usually do is I would glue this onto the pack, but I can use some fuck it all. A little fuck it all. There we go. I'll just sit that on there like so, and I will place this in the middle like so. Now I'm going to get this these leads over the sides of the USB-C port there. There we go. Just like this. There we go. That's nice and tidy, nice and polite. See? Oh, it squeaked at me. Okay, so now we can do the seal on here. This part's really important, is making sure that the terminals can't wide enough. Yeah. So this BMS here is what's going to protect this battery and make sure that it doesn't do anything stupid. Or if I do something stupid, it's not going to cause the battery to have a temper tantrum, because that would be a bad thing. So now I'm going to do a double wrap here. And we're still not done with this battery. And there we go. And I'm going to fold this over like so. There we go. And then one last. Do this. Great. I'm going to do one across the other side. Work with me. There we go. We're going to go back over that. Sorry if I'm going off camera, but, you know, I'm trying to work in my lap because I do that a lot. And then one last one over the end, and then I will put some buffer tape on here as well to protect it. This is going to give it a good seal. Electrically isolate it. The terminals are now protected. This whole pack's protected. We've got our color codes. We've got green and white for a charger. We've got blue and white, and green and black for our other way around. Load, charge. There we go. So now, something else which I like to do with these guys is electric tape, because it gives it a nice soft buffer. Now, when you're doing this part, I don't like to pull it too tight. I like to actually dangle it loose, like so. Just let it retract a little bit. That should be good. There we go. All right, now this will also help protect it from bumping or shock, you know, like physical shock. There we go. And pointy things, because pointy things are very, very bad with these batteries. And I'm going to go along here. Remember, we don't want to compact it. We don't want to squish the pack. We just want to do this very gracefully. There we go. And our pack is now protected and ready to go. Okay, so now I can get that pedal board back up here and we can finish it off. If you're still watching or you skipped ahead, good for you. I think this will fit nicely right here. Now, I'm going to put a little piece of cardboard or something in here, I think. Let's see now. Yeah, I think that'll seal up nicely. Let me just check. Yep, seals up. Perfect. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I've got this nice piece of paper here that I used earlier, and I'm going to fold it up and place it underneath as kindling. No, kidding. I want to put this underneath just to protect from the pins. That's all, because there are pins on this circuit board, and I don't want them to puncture the pack. So we're just going to add this right here like so. Put this over top, and there, that's nice. So now I'm going to bring this, I'm going to route these cables this way. Cool. And I'm going to bust out the hot glue gun, actually. I was going to anchor this in with a aluminum plate, but I think this might be good. Alright, now I should actually probably put this out in the open somewhere because it'll allow me easier access to it. So we'll get some Kapton tape now to isolate the two boards from each other, because we don't want a short to ruin the pedal board. So I'm going to cut this little piece of Kapton tape in half. You'll see why in a second. Tear. Put it right here. Oh, right there, yeah. Gonna double it up. Oops. There we go. And now I can finish my soldering on here. And this is all nice and... I've got lots of space, basically. It's nice and routable. Okay, so this is going to be power out right here. So these two connect to each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these guys here. I'm just going to meld them together. There we go. Get a little piece of heat shrink. Now, normally I would solder these wires together, but this is kind of a prototype per se. So rather than soldering them and making it so that I have to shorten the wires later, I can just do what's called an inline splice or a butt splice like this, which is where we take the wires and wrap them around each other on both sides. And that's a very, very solid joint right there, see? And then I'm going to put this guy over it like so. And that's so that I can disconnect it easily later on. I just have to pull it, and it'll come off, and then I can just pull the heat shrink right off. Oh, no, I did screw up. Haha! Nobody caught me on that. Why didn't anybody say anything? It's a good thing I didn't screw up too bad. No, the green and the black is the power in. That's right. Duh. Did I just ADHD or what? There we go. There we go. We got one. Let's just it's on here like this. There we go. That's one. And here's our negative. Nice. I like that. That works well. And then our negative goes here. There we go, and then we can test the charging circuit. Beauty, she charges. Really, I should put LED indicators on the back for that. Okay, so now I can do my negative and positive here. Now I can do it right. Okay, so I want this one to overlap a little bit. So there's our negative, our positive, and then our negative is going to come over to here. Oh, that's why my belly hurts. That chili has inflated me like a bloody balloon. Owie. I should start bottling that and putting it in my truck, you know, because now the price of gas is crazier. There we go. Put that in there like so. Hour 24. I should offer an award for anybody who can watch this video all the way to the end. That'll help train people to have attention spans again. I'm hoping this is one of those videos that somebody can watch and just like relax and just listen to me working. Almost like there's company in the room, you know? It's just like, well, I'm alone. I want to sound or feel like I've got somebody joining me in company. I'll just put on this video. If that's the case and you watch my video all the way through for that purpose, there's two lonely souls working together. Alright, let's see now. Yep, works. Nice. So now I'll just put a piece of Kapton tape over that, call it done. Yeah, that should be more than enough to give me a good few hours out of it. I mean, like, if I'm diddling it around on the floor, I'm only going to be practicing for a couple of hours a day at most anyway. So it should be more than enough. I'll just keep it plugged in charging. And if I was doing a live set with this, then, I mean, how long's the average set when you're an opener? What, about 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops, if you're lucky. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to put some more glue. There we go. Gluing all these layers down. And I'll put some glue here. This is another off-brand Milwaukee product because Milwaukee doesn't make a hot glue gun. And I think that is one of the dumbest things. So I switched to Milwaukee from DeWalt because DeWalt, I spent like something like almost a couple $1,000s, I think, on all of my DeWalt equipment. I bought like drills and rotary tools and saws and all sorts of stuff. And then DeWalt decided to change their battery format to lithium. Good on you. I was not impressed with their lithium line. And they discontinued their 18-volt product line completely, which meant that I could no longer buy DeWalt batteries for my drills and whatnot. And the batteries lasted a very, 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 very long time. So I was very, very happy and grateful for that. But the fact of the matter is they betrayed me. I blew thousands of dollars with those guys, and they decided to discontinue the product line that I was using. It's like, yeah, that's good to do to your loyal customers. And honestly, I found that the nickel metal hydrate packs actually had a hell of a lot more torque to them than the lithium packs do. And the lithium packs can't deliver as much current, I've noticed. Alright, so here we go. This is all assembled. Let's see here. Now, where's number 2? I think number 2 is over here. Why was number 2 so fiddly? I might have to just replace the button on number 2. But let's make sure that there's no detritus left in here. We're going to give it a quick blow. I wonder if I should put some Kapton tape on that. I feel like I should. Now, if you're wondering why I put bands of hot glue on there, by the way, it's because it almost makes like a wire wrap. It actually kind of wraps around the whatever you're putting in place. It affixes it in place so that it's kind of like actually sticking. Nope, almost. It almost works like, you know, binding it. So if it's on the edge here and it rattles loose, well, it's done. But this way it continues all the way over to this other bead that I put along here, which solidifies it and keeps it in place. It's one long piece. All right, I think that's it. We can put the backboard back on. So let's see here. That works. I can put it on the charger. Does it work when it's on the charger? It still works on the charger. That's cool. There we go. Okay, that's starting to harden. I think we're good. How long did that take? 1 hour, 29 minutes so far. Not bad. This also gives you a rough idea of how long it takes for somebody to do something like this. So I hope that if you guys get something custom made from somebody, that you're not like, wow, why did you charge me that much for it? It's like, I charged you that much because it was a lot of work. What do you think, I just slapped something together? Custom work, I don't think it's the appreciation that it should. Especially when it comes to modifications and whatnot. A lot of people just, yeah, I don't know. They don't get it. Well, I could buy it. No, you can't. And I mean, you know how many ideas that I've had that I've done YouTube videos on to teach you guys how to do it, and somebody, the Chinese market especially, comes along, sees something which I've done, and turns it into a product that they can sell. Well, the most recent one was I taught you guys how to use your cordless drill battery packs to jumpstart your vehicles. Well, guess what? Somebody made a adapter for that just slides onto your battery pack. I could have done that, but I didn't have the backing. And I actually have a lot of product concepts that I've come up with, and many of them have already come true. Somebody else has produced them because I don't have anybody to back me. And I actually have some projects that I want to make. I just need people to help me back my products, my projects, my ideas. So if any of you guys want to reach out and contact me, I do have ideas that I'm trying to get produced right now. I do research and development as well, offhand, for a few different companies, bigger companies, and they send me products. I test them. I tell them what's wrong with them. I tell them how to improve them. Okay? So, yeah, I mean, it's my turn. I want to start making some money off of some of my ideas. That'd be kind of nice, right? Especially in this economy. All right, so this guy's done. There you go. Look at that. Nice, tidy, polite USB-C charger. We've got the power switch for it. This is cool. Actually, the button loosened up. That's nice. There we go. Too bad I'm going to be erasing all those song titles from here. This could be a piece of music history, but it's mine now. Are you? All right, so there we go. This guy is done. It's now battery powered. Now, it's not like I removed the other parts for this either, and the circuit itself has a backstop on it, so I could still hook up 9-volt AC. I could still use a 7-pin DIN on it to power it, right? I've just basically added another additional function or ability to it rather than actually, what am I looking for? Rather than removing the original functionality. So the new functionality is there as well. All right, so this guy's ready to go. And I can now connect this to my head rush. And I'll show you quickly since I'm going to be putting that away. Let's see here. This goes into the MIDI in on this. And then this would go here onto the MIDI out here. Just like that. That's how that works. And then once I change the mode on this MIDI foot controller, I can just assign a different, I think I assign a channel. My friend's going to have to help me do this, but I assign a different channel to each one of these. And then when it sees trigger on one of those channels, it can be assigned to one of the different stomp boxes on here. So there we go. I now have my giant pedal board that I really wanted. And it's all compact. Everything I need is in this tiny little package. Hey, yeah. Hey, Edge from U2. This is how you do it, right? I mean, I know you've got racks and racks and racks of equipment, but this is not so bad. I'm going to see if this will work. Who knows? I might end up going back to stomp boxes because I love my stomp boxes, but everything's so bloody expensive now, right? Getting back into the biz is just impossible. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. And I guess I'll see you next time. Bye.